Okay, guys, I wanted to do something that I always do with college football, which is give off my potential top upsets for this coming week of the NFL week number 5. I'm going to be going through a few games that I think could be upsets, along with a few other games where a lot of people are predicting an upset or thinking an upset could happen, and I think it won't. So this first game is a 1 p.m. game. It is the Chargers traveling to Cleveland. The Chargers coming off a fairly convincing win over Houston. The Browns coming off that close loss to Atlanta. I do see the Browns personally pulling out a 1-point victory. The Chargers 3-point favorites. It's understandable when you take a look at the quarterback comparison, Jacoby Brissett versus Justin Herbert. But it's important to remember this is a very inconsistent Chargers team who just lost Joey Bosa. They're 2 weeks removed from getting absolutely trounced by the Jaguars at home. Of course, the Jaguars followed that up by losing to Philadelphia. So the Browns at home, a good defense. Myles Garrett, I realize, possibly not going to play. That is an issue. This is a Browns team that needs to stay on schedule, needs to get ahead in this game. You've got Nick Chubb, you've got Kareem Hunt. You need to utilize both of those guys. They're sitting at 2-2. The Chargers are a team I still think can go deep into the playoffs, but missing Joey Bosa, that is a huge injury for the Chargers. I really do think the Browns could upset LA, and a lot of analytical models do agree with me. They think there's great value in the Cleveland Browns +3. Of course, those models don't account for injuries, but then again, the Chargers are dealing with an injury to their own star pass rusher with Joey Bosa, so we'll see. I'm guessing Myles Garrett probably not going to play in this one. It's going to be very important the Browns get out early in this game, stay on script, utilize that running game, utilize both Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. And, you know, even after their loss to Atlanta, I think get Amari Cooper involved more. He's basically invisible against the Falcons. David Njoku is emerging as an elite tight end in the NFL. The Browns at home, it's, you know, a tough game for LA with the body clock change. 1 o'clock, that's a 10 a.m. start. I will take the Browns in a tight upset for that one. The next game, I'm sure a lot of people are liking Detroit. You've got the Patriots with the uncertainty surrounding the quarterback situation. I actually think if I was Bill Belichick, I'd probably rather go possibly with Bailey Zappi over Brian Hoyer. They're very similar, but I guess you could say Brian Hoyer's a veteran. He's not going to make, you know, rookie mistakes, things like that. Bottom line here, a lot of people are going to be picking Detroit to upset New England. But guys, this is a typical Bill Belichick correction game. Detroit is not going to keep averaging 30 or 40 points or whatever they're scoring. Maybe I'm a little extreme picking them to only score 10 points, but Jack Jones, the young cornerback, you know, the interception, the pick six, they really played well against Aaron Rodgers, especially in the first half. Now they come home against a team that's used to a dome. They go outdoors. Maybe it's 50 degrees in early October in Foxborough. Lower scoring. I love the under in this game. Most of the Detroit games have all gone over. That's not going to continue. You're going to see one of these games go under. I think this is the one. This is a great spot for Bill Belichick and a defense like that. Jared Goff is not going to continue this. Even if Amon-Ra St. Brown is back, I am projecting a small offensive performance from the Detroit Lions. New England will win this game. I'm guessing, you know, they're still going to be without Mac Jones, probably Brian Hoyer or Bailey Zappi, possibly getting a pick six, maybe a huge game-changing turnover, something like that. I think the story out of this game will be the Patriots defense carries the day and really shows up at home against Jared Goff. The next possible upset, and I am predicting this, the Commanders over Tennessee. Guys, when you look at Tennessee in their game last week, they should have lost. They got very lucky with turnovers. They were outgained by 130 yards. They generated very little offense outside of Derrick Henry rushing the football. Now they lose Treylon Burks. I understand the Commanders were not good last week. They only scored 10 points. I've got them at 27 because this is the NFL. There's parity. Quarterbacks are extremely inconsistent. Carson Wentz looks great early in the season. The first 2 weeks, he's been horrible. The last 2 weeks, he will bounce back. They do have legitimate playmakers on that offense, even possibly without their rookie first-round pick, Jahan Dotson. I like Curtis Samuel possibly to have a good day as a DFS fantasy option, and I like Washington after, a few bad performances to get back on track. This is a parity game. Tennessee's won a few games in a row. They're going on the road, 3-point favorites, right? They're going to lose this game. They're going to lose this game to the Commanders straight up. I've got the Commanders winning 27-19. The next potential upset, it's going to be Houston at Jacksonville. So this is a game where Houston, they're 0-3-1. They're a bad team, but they're going to win a few games, right? That's the thing that we have to understand. I am not buying into Davis Mills. I don't know where the Davis Mills hype came from. I think if people just see a rookie put up good stats in garbage time, they think he's going to be good or something. But like Davis Mills last year, people were like, oh, he's a franchise quarterback. He's underrated. All of his stats came in ridiculous garbage time. Davis Mills is not a franchise quarterback in this league. The Houston Texans will be drafting either C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young with a top 3 pick. That's guaranteed. Now, when it comes to this game, I still think Houston has a good enough roster to be possibly competitive with Jacksonville, and 7 points for a team like Jacksonville might be too much. We've seen what the Jaguars defense can do against Justin Herbert, although they were dealing with injuries. I think this is a closer game than expected. The Jaguars get it done. Trevor Lawrence needs to clean up the turnover issues, the 4 lost fumbles, things like that. 7-point favorites, in my opinion, that's good value for a Houston team. 7 for Jacksonville. It's kind of like last week when Detroit was 6-point favorites against the Seahawks. Putting Detroit as 6-point favorites, it just seems like too much. Like 7-point favorites for Jacksonville seems like too much. I think Houston, yes, they're bad, but they're not horrible. There's no horrible team this year. Houston's going to win 3 or 4 games. They've already tied 1. They're going to win 3 or 4 games, but they will still get a top 2 or 3 pick, in my opinion. I've got that at 26-23. And then this one, it is the Dallas Cowboys at the LA Rams. This is the 425 matchup. It is going to be Cooper Rush. And, people saying Cooper Rush, he's never lost a start. Well, guys, let's understand. Cooper Rush, he's a game manager. He's a phenomenal backup quarterback, but it's a Jacoby Brissett type thing. It's a Teddy Bridgewater type thing. This is a complete game manager. That is what Cooper Rush is. So I see his magic coming to an end. LA as a team, they just got embarrassed last night on Monday Night Football. We saw what happened to open the season on Thursday night. They get embarrassed by the Bills at home. They come back and they win 2 games in a row. They're 2-2. They need this game. The Dallas Cowboys, they've won 3 in a row. This is a parity game. Both of these teams will be 3-2 after this game. The LA Rams will cover this spread. Cooper Rush has done nothing but cover spreads as a starter. That's going to change. It's due. He's due to have a down game. He will have one against the LA Rams. Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey. It's simply too much talent for Cooper Rush and this Dallas Cowboys offense. So, people thinking Cooper Rush is going to continue. How I see it playing out, this is my prediction. I think Cooper Rush struggles against the tough Rams defense, and then the Cowboys seamlessly transition back to Dak Prescott in week number 6. There's a little talk about Dak Prescott struggling in week 1. Cooper Rush week 2, week 3, week 4 wins all those games. Should Cooper Rush start? Guys, Dak Prescott is significantly better than Cooper Rush. I think the bigger problem for the Cowboys is the salary cap situation where they're paying Dak Prescott $40 million a year. I think that's the bigger issue. Could Cooper Rush, be almost as good as Dak Prescott? Maybe, and take up like 1/20th of the salary? Yes, but they chose to go with Dak as their franchise QB. They're paying him so much money. They are getting Zeke off the contract books, so maybe they'll be able to extend some of their guys. I know Diggs is coming up, at least relatively soon. Micah Parsons is only in the second year of his, rookie contract. That's going to be 5 years because I'm sure they're going to extend his option. But overall, guys, I do like the Rams. Don't overreact. This is a beautiful spread right now, around -4. The Rams will win this game and they will cover. Matt Stafford, will they get Allen Robinson involved? I think they're gonna try and do that. We know they have Cooper Kupp. I don't know what to make of the Rams rushing at this point with Cam Akers really struggling. Darrell Henderson, not much better. The offensive line. It might be a situation where you're facing a really good defense in San Francisco, but they really haven't been able to run the ball much at all. So that could be a trend to look at. And Dallas does have a very solid defense. But again, this is a parity game. This is how the NFL works. The Cowboys are not going to go to 4-1. The Rams are not going to fall to 2-3. Rams over Cowboys is basically a lock. And then this one, it is Cincinnati at Baltimore. Cincinnati, they've been playing so well recently. They won back-to-back games. They beat Miami. I predicted they would, and they do it on Thursday Night Football. Now they've got a Sunday night game in Baltimore. And guys, here's an interesting fact. The Baltimore Ravens are 0-2 at home. Do we really expect the Baltimore Ravens to fall to 0-3 at home? I would be shocked, especially on Sunday Night Football. They're a team, they blow a 20-3 lead. They've shown that they have the ability to, hang with really good teams. If you're up 20-3 on the Bills, I have this Baltimore Ravens team winning the AFC North. Right now, it's a 3-way tie with the Browns, Bengals, and Ravens. I think the Ravens win this division. I think Lamar makes one more play at home, and they avoid the upset against Cincinnati on Sunday Night Football. So those are just some possible upset picks. My two major upsets, it would be the Commanders over the Titans, and then it would be the Browns over the Chargers. But if I had to give you one, I am 100% confident the Commanders will beat the Titans this week at home. That is a lock. That is a for sure thing that is going to happen. And I said the Colts would beat the Titans last week, and they should have. It was bad turnover luck. Also, guys, Denver will beat... Well, actually, I'm not 100% sure on Denver, but I think Russell Wilson's going to have a big game on Thursday night. Because you're dealing with an injury. The Colts, they're not impressed with their head coach. Maybe they fire him. I like Denver to cover that, a 4-point spread against Indianapolis on Thursday Night Football. But guys, those are some potential upsets for NFL week number 5. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.